Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570. Taos, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positively out here at Costas Inn. Continuing our conversations. My thanks to Carson Kamenetz for stopping by, as well as Vicky Franz. And we've had visitors here from O.J. Bergantz's foundation. That was Drew Van Landingham. Always good to visit with him and hear about the Bergantz Brigade. We're here promoting the Maryland Lottery. Our friends at GBMC, as well as Farnan and Dermer. They are the comfort guys, getting comfortable. It's about 90 degrees today as we tape this year. It'll be 50 by the time you hear it. Maryland Lottery gives me the Maryland Treasures. Little summer package here. Boardwalk in Ocean City. I got the Bay Bridge to go over, 2 spans, as well as Blackwater, and I gave Vicky the horses. I don't know which one of these tickets Patrick Dyer is going to take from me, but I met Patrick about 6 months ago up at Pappas. Another great crab cake up there, and hello to Steve and Justin and all of them. I was invited to give me the right, Italian Associated Charity.
Associated Italian American Charity.
Associated Italian.
They go by AIAC.
AIAC.
One of the most philanthropic charities on the East Coast.
I watched you guys fight out where all the money was going. I attended the meeting. There were minutes and a lot of Italian guys. And
I was the president.
Well, I got invited because your communications chief, the downtown lawyer's Mike, right?
Michael Shaw.
Yeah,
sure.
Mike, good man. He reached to me after I did the show at Di Pasquale's last summer, and I had not done the show at Di Pasquale's ever, and Joe did the show, and Dom as well. And I mentioned that my grandfather was Italian, came from the old country, served in World War II, underage at that time, and came to America and Philadelphia and all this Italian stuff. And he wrote me a beautiful note. And I'm always thought of it being Venezuelan because my father's Venezuelan, right, in Aparicio. But I am Italian, I guess that's why I made it in the sunshine yesterday, got my olive skin. And they invited me out to speak, and I didn't know what to expect. And I talked to Mike a few times, and this was a very formal thing. Like, I was supposed to do it at Libertori's in September, and I couldn't make the night. Like, I had a conflict that night with the scheduling thing. And I said, I'll do it later, and I wound up with you at Pappas that night. And you gave me a bottle of wine, and you told me you're running for county executive. And I didn't know if you were Democrat or Republican. Then I realized I was the only Democrat in the room. Now, you'll dispute that. But there were about 100, 120 people in the room that night, and you guys were all fighting it out about where the money was going, and this and that and this charity, and everybody has to stand up and give a speech. It's Italian. So I came at the end when the crab cakes came out, but you were like, that's a serious organization. Well, so I met you through that, and you're running for office, but part of that is you've been involved in a community organization for a long time, right?
Most definitely. And thank you for coming that evening. We enjoyed your presentation.
I didn't think at the time y'all enjoyed me, but then I kept running into people.
You had a lot of good things to say.
A lot of people came up to me afterward, wrote me notes, and it was a very memorable night in a lot of ways coming in because a lot of people there were listeners. I knew a lot of people in the room that I wasn't expecting to see that night in that way. And then I met some new people that get to be guests on the show.
Like
Give me wine.
Well, at the end of the day, we at Christmas time, we had our scholarship dinner. We awarded 21 scholars. They all got a scholarship, and almost 100 charities received money. And I had the fortune to stand on the stage, shake everybody's hand, and see what difference.
And give them money.
And give them money.
Well, I mean, how long have you been involved with that group?
Since almost 20 years. 20 years. And I'm not Italian, right?
You're not Italian?
No. I was elected president, and I'm not Italian. That says something, right?
I was a Democrat, and they invited me over to speak. I'm like, good,
I'm an Irish guy.
We need diversity. I was going to say it, Dyer. You got to be Irish, right?
I'm Irish, of course. I was also president of the Hibernian Society of Baltimore, founded in 1803. Just recently received the Hibernian of the Year. So that was another.
I don't know anything about the Hibernians. What are we doing?
Irish. That's it's Latin for Ireland. That's what the Hibernian means.
Okay.
Just another great group of philanthropic gentlemen around Baltimore in this Baltimore County community. The same thing, scholarship and charity. That's what they thrive on.
So your main business, though, is money, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. I have an investment brokerage firm. I started my career at T. Rowe Price, and then obviously learned from the best and started my own firm. And I've been doing it for a while. And so I've been very fortunate.
Well, you're running for county executive. So
yes.
I met Pat about 6 months ago, so probably late October maybe, and you gave me a bottle of wine. I gave a long, rambling Angelo Spiciotti media Trump thing. And
Justin Tucker too.
A lot of Justin Tucker that night because I had been here and I had like a right in this space. I had a couple of dudes here OTB and they heard me talk about Justin Tucker and they came over and they got in the shot right here screaming at me and Raskin, who's a crazy Republican like you, and we were fighting about all this. And these guys came over, leave Justin Tucker alone. And I'm like. Do you even think? And I said that night. And by the way, the next guest I have is Chris Corman, who's a sports editor of the Baltimore Banner, who broke that story and wrote about that story. Yeah. And the one thing, he'll be proud of this because I promoted his business that night. I said, how many of you have actually read the stories about Tucker? And I think 3 hands went up of 100 guys. And I'm like, you're not even reading the journalism, but you all have an opinion about it. Yeah. And I think that's where we are in America, and that doesn't speak to whether you're running for county executive or county council or whether you're just a citizen voting for one of you, and I'm going to vote for one of you, right? Nick Stewart's been on the show. Sure. Julian's been on the show. Ezzy's been on the show. Pat Young. Anybody else out there running for county executive? I've invited you on 2 or 3 times. I'm glad you're here. I've invited Ed Hale on, who I've known for a million years, who's running for governor. I'm not anti-Republican. I'm anti-Trump. I voted for Republicans in my life. I've had Bob Ehrlich on. I was, listen, I had David Marks on 3 weeks ago. I like bipartisan conversation about it. I don't know anything about your politics other than there's an R in front of your name. Yep. I know a lot about Ed Hale's politics because I know Ed well intimately, that he was a Democrat who's running as Republican. Where do you come on all this tree? Because you manage money, chances are you're a Republican, and that's not me making judgments. That's just a fact.
Well, I am a Republican, sure. And I'm a proud Republican Party, and I believe in just Republican values, which is responsibility, accountability, education, and crime, and low crime. That's where I stand on different policies.
What's wrong with the county now as you see it? Tell me how the county is going to be different with a Republican, because we have not had a lot of county executives that have been Republican around here. It's been 40 years. It's been an awful long time. I think we're at a crossroads. We definitely need a change in county government, and we've had. And when you have the same party in power for such a long time, I think it breeds the inability to make tough decisions. I also think it forgets about who pays the bills in this county, the taxpayer, and that's what I want: accountability to the taxpayer. That's who, in a sense, I'm working for. So that's what I think I can bring change to the county simply by bringing in new people. There's so many energized individuals that I've talked to. All have fresh ideas about the crime policy, about education, about business. And I plan to bring the best around from Baltimore County in to solve our problems. One thing about me, I do have a business degree from the University of Baltimore. Master's. I went to UB.
I have a master's from the University of Baltimore. I have a business degree from Loyola University. One thing in business that's taught me is to bring people together. Got to bring people together to solve problems. We've been dealing with the same problems for a long time. It's time for a different approach to solve these problems. I'm going to bring that to the table.
So I've been doing this long enough that Johnny O came on, and I laugh about it a little bit because I interviewed him in a little room about 8 years ago after Don Moeller ran the county. I had Carson here when his dad passed away. That I'm third cycle now through this, and Al Redmer and I have not become friends. He was a sponsor of mine 15 years ago, telling me that Republicans were going to run the state at some point, and he was involved with Hogan. And I've known Al a million years, and I see Al at Mako every year, and obviously he works in state government at this point, so his role in coming on the show would be different than as a political candidate. But I remember sitting with him in his office right behind here at High Tops. He had his political office, him and Hannah Marr, 8 years ago, and talking about the future of the county and what he was running on at a time when Trump was in office at the time, and I was very disgruntled about it then. I'm more discouraged about Republican politics and who's running your party that's not of America as I see it, or American values of the Constitution. So I really have a hard time in discussing Democrat and Republican when I'm really not discussing Democrat and Republican in the Ronald Reagan way or in the Bob Ehrlich way or the way that has been sane for me. Is there anything about Trump that you think's gone a little too far?
Well, let's start with the Trump situation. I mean, I know there's.
Well, you have to lead with that. You have an R in front of your name.
Yes, and
Yeah.
how he's been labeled. But
Not labeled how it is. Not labeled.
Yeah, the only person that I've allowed to label me is my parents, and I'll stick to what I believe in. And Donald Trump did have some ideas that resonate with the Republican Party, and that's just the fact.
What are the ones that you subscribe to? What are policies he's had or ideologies he's had that you adopt or that you reject? Or is there nothing you reject?
I think in terms of what I just laid out, the crime problem needs to be solved. I believe he believes in education. We need a strong education. I think he's a business guy. He understands that in order to get this economy moving, you need to have strong business policies. So you need to have a government that enables people to start their own business, help them out, because that's the engine that drives this economy. So those parts of his platform I fully agree with.
Well, when I talk to Republicans or even my money people, Leonard Raskin, who, by the way, has been under the weather, and he's traveling right now. He'll be back on. We'll fight again later. We've done that in this seat. The notion that managing the budget, managing money in this state specifically, and listen, I campaigned for Wes Moore. I haven't seen him in 3 years, so I'm not on my show anyway. So I'm, if Ed wants to come on and give his policies, that's fine. I like hearing all sides of it. But the notion that the Republican Party and the money side of this and the fiscal side of it when it comes to Maryland, you manage money. Brian Billick's one of my partners here. He left the state as a resident, and a lot of rich people or people that are going to give money to their children leave the state because of estate taxes, because of the tax situation. We talk about owning a place in Delaware versus Maryland. Part of that is just a state issue as well for the county, right? As a county executive, as somebody here managing money, you see people who have accumulated money who feel like they need to leave the state, let alone the county. And the biggest problem that I've had, and all the Democrats that I've had on, whether it's Nick Stewart or Julian Jones, is the flight of the county, that the county is shrinking in some way that would subscribe to your side to say there are problems in the county when people are leaving it, when it's not growing. And that's something that I heard from Johnny 8 years ago and even Al Redmer, that we can't have a better tax base by having people leave our county. We need to grow our county. And I'm speaking to a Republican issue, I think, at that, right?
Of course. I mean, and people are fleeing this county and the state for places like Florida. And they only have to be gone for 6 months to become Florida residents, so they could reside in Baltimore County, enjoy the benefits of Baltimore County. Florida is their home. They pay no state taxes, and the savings to them are enormous. And it's extremely detrimental to Baltimore County, state of Maryland. And we need to wake up, or more people are going to be leaving this state. And it comes down to a lot of different reasons. We're talking about the executive position. It is an executive position. Baltimore County is a huge business. You need business guys that have some experience to be able to run this business. Like I said, I'm used to bringing people together, making a difference. We need a business approach, because at the end of the day, businesses included, can walk with their feet. They're like, hey, I don't want to deal with these problems. They don't stick around. They'll pack up and leave. And you can't stop them. So that's very important. And so my platform, what I'm going to focus from day one, is we need to solve certain problems. I look at it like a stool. We got 3 legs, and they all have to work together. We need to shine Baltimore County up, so someone from outside the county versus leaving is looking, hey, where do I want to move? What part of the East Coast appeals to me?
So, well, I live in Baltimore County. I own a business in Baltimore County. I was educated in Baltimore County. I went to Baltimore County public schools. I went to Baltimore County when I have Dr. Curtinitis on. I went to Dundalk Community College, now CCBC. So, I mean, this is my county, too. I mean, from Venetoulas on, through all of this.
I started in the county as a paper boy. right down the street.
Which paper did you deliver?
The News American.
Hey, that was where I started my career in '84.
I picked my newspapers up at the local Dunkin' Donuts right down the street. You could throw a rock and hit the Dunkin' Donuts. It wasn't the best place.
They were all stacked
Oh,
up.
they were all stacked up. I had to cut the wire.
Did you have a station wagon like when they delivered?
I had a bike.
All right.
That was the thing. I was so excited to buy my Schwinn bike, and I still have it. My wife's like, "Why?"
What year is this that you were delivering newspapers?
Probably in this late 70s.
Late 70s. All right. I started working at the paper in '84. So.
And I had to, I delivered my newspapers. I had the routes all up and down here: Ridgely Road, Belfast Road, Cinder. This was all my clients, every one of them. And I'd have to go with my little punch book and collect from them. At the end of the day,
I delivered the Dundalk Eagle when I was a kid.
There you go.
I was just trying to get $5 a week so I could go roller skating and chase girls. That's literally, I wanted to go to skate land. That was it.
But it was good. You know, you don't see kids driving around with big bags delivering the newspapers in the rain. You know, it just doesn't happen that way anymore.
You and I began our conversation. The banner, Chris Corman's coming by later on, just about how the newspaper shaped information and education, I think, for all of us, right? Like all guys our age read a newspaper back then. I don't know what we're reading now.
I'm telling you.
You know?
I used to love to deliver those newspapers. I had ink all over my hands.
It smelled good, too, didn't it?
It smelled good, and when I washed my hands and I'd see the black ink go down the drain, I knew how much money I made because I had to touch every newspaper. But to this day, I still get all the newspapers. I get the Sun paper. I read them all. My wife...
You read an actual hard paper.
I get a hard paper. I'm probably the only one on my block that gets a hard paper delivered to their house. My wife is...
Well, that's a habit. That's not that's just
I read it. I read it. I love the information, and it's just...
Have you done anything in the AI space at all? I've gotten very, very heavily in the AI. Since I've met you,
amazing.
man.
It's amazing.
So, I mean, I
what's
met
out there.
you in October. I took my first AI class November 11th, and it's been... I don't know. I'm open-minded about a lot of things and communicating. So I was a first adopter with Twitter and Facebook and all of those things that felt, even in my wife being a Verizon engineer, to be able to surf the web early on. I'm a news freak, man. You know what I mean? Like I worked at the News American when I was 15 years old. I'm a journalist. I'm a news hound. So yes,
Yeah.
Anything that gets me into a space that makes things more efficient,
right?
I mean, that's
Without
AI to me.
Oh, yeah.
There are efficiencies involved in that I don't know that the world is ready for quite yet, but it's happening.
You're seeing layoffs in major corporations, and they're saying AI. Now, AI is it's extremely helpful. There's no doubt about it in terms of lining out your schedule, analyzing your emails. It can be used.
I'm wondering how government's going to be able to use it. That if you're elected county executive, by the way, Pat Dyer is my guest. He is a Republican Baltimore County executive. I met him at the Associated Italian Chair, AIC. I'm getting it right. About 6 months ago.
Associated Italian American Charities.
Associated Italian.
AIAC.
AIAC. Okay, all right.
That's close enough.
He's not even Italian, this guy, and he's running the Italian. I'm more Italian than him. But I gave a speech, and you gave me a bottle of wine, and it took me 6 months to get you out here to talk about these issues. But first off, the election's June 23rd. And I had to look that up back in January because I'm used to primaries being in April, right?
68 days is coming.
All right, so this is the first time you've ever run for anything?
No, actually, I ran for a delegate position years and years ago. But
what have you learned about the running for a modern office? And I've had a lot of the Democratic candidates on. I don't even know who the other Republican candidates are. I've had Al Redmer on years ago and all that. Tell me about the race a little bit and what this is like for you to door knock.
Well, it's energizing. It really is. And I've gone and so many people, and I tell them what my platform is, and they're energized. They're energized just to.
By the way, friends at PatDyer.com.
I've had someone from the opposing party who's running came up and thanked me. He said, "Thank you for running." He was sincere. We need people to run. This is what it's all about. Putting your name out there.
That is democracy, my man.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm submitting my resume to the voters of Baltimore County, and I'm asking them to hire me for this job to be the next Baltimore County executive. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I've enjoyed going around the community. We've got a festival coming up in North Point. That's next weekend.
That's my part of the world.
Yeah, North Point. Dr. Frank's a great guy. So I love North Point. I love going to Catonsville. Catonsville, my in-laws are there at Charlestown. My brother-in-law's in Catonsville. I enjoy going to all these different pockets of the community. I love Reisterstown, historic Glendon. My grandfather went to Franklin in Reisterstown, Glendon, and his grandfather, my great-grandfather, Patrick Dyer, donated all the land that now sits Sacred Heart Church. So the years ago, the local community said, hey, we don't want to continue to walk to these different churches downtown. So he said, hey, I'll give you the land. So it's constructed the church, and that's why there's Dyer Avenue. Dyer and Wabash is in Glendon, historic Glendon.
Family. Okay.
Named after my family. Of course.
That's right up by Santoni's up there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right,
you got it. You got it. He's right there. And then
John Barrett still has the restaurant up there, I think.
it's a great part of town, historic Glendon. It's just a wonderful. So I'm getting around communities. I think it's important to visit all the different pockets where the voters are. I mean, this county has so much to offer. I mean, we got the largest estuary in the United States. The
People
Chesapeake
don't know
Bay,
that,
the
man.
Chesapeake Bay.
We have more waterfront than anyone anywhere.
So that's what gets me going, because people should be staying. We have such an attractive jewel. It just needs to be shined up so we attract people.
I feel that
here.
way about the city too. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
that way about the whole region, the whole state. I mean, I give these tickets out, Maryland Treasures, and I think about America in microcosm that Maryland is, with mountains and beaches and
yes.
cities and just all of that.
Of course.
But Baltimore County and Moeller really impressed this upon me after Kevin died when he ran the county. It's just how powerful a municipality Baltimore County is. That if it were a city, it'd be huge. But losing population. I'm from the east side, so the schools getting rebuilt, crime. We talk about traffic issues in the county and all that. What do you hear from a complaint standpoint? Cost of living? I mean, we talk about flight from the county? Or?
The complaint is a crime problem.
Okay.
There's a huge crime problem, in my opinion, and we're down officers. How can you run a business, and the county is a business, and you're short a lot of officers?
Getting candidates is as big a problem as the budget, I think, right?
I mean, they can't even. I was reading an article just recently. They can't even. I can't even get a true. There's not a true asset allocation of how many people they're actually down. I mean, I've heard several hundred, but when you don't have the officers.
But then, what's ideal? If you're county executive,
I think they're down 400 people. So we need 400 officers. We need 400 officers, additional officers in the service. So I have friends of mine that are on the SWAT team. Every time I talk to them, they're bleary-eyed, they're exhausted, and they tell me their complaints, and it's maddening to hear what they're telling me. It really is. Under my watch, these guys are going to be rested and ready to go, and I think that's very important. I think the number one job as county executive is your safety. And that's what's going to happen under my watch.
So you're running on crime as that's at the
no,
top.
I said earlier. It's a stool. There's three legs to it: education and business. We need those three areas.
Is that luring business? Is that making it more attractive
Yes,
to come do business in the county?
Yes, you hear complaints about permits. I mean,
I've been hearing that throughout the community.
Permits. Why does it take so long? I'm going to set up a task force right outside my office, and we're going to man it. And if you come to this county and you want to start a business, my hat's off to you. If you're going to risk your money, and you're going to risk your reputation, you're going to risk what you have to start a business, I'm all on board. I'm going to uncover any opportunity the county has to make it a go for you. I'll do everything in my power to make sure you're a successful business, because that is key. We need those. We need the ingenuity, we need the jobs, and we need the revenue. It just makes a lot of sense.
We have great schools in the county to be able to keep people here once they're educated. That for me,
Most
retention
definitely.
of people when they come to Baltimore.
Most
Not they're
definitely.
going to come and go to college and go back to New Jersey or whatever, right?
No, I was at an event for Loyola College just the other evening. For the people that have helped Loyola College out, and the students were saying the same thing. They're trying to get jobs at Baltimore County. I said, what happens if you don't get this job? They'll move on. They're highly trained. We need them to stay right here. All that brain power and all that hard work, we need it to retain. Nestor, they're coming to this county to work and get educated, and they take off and they leave. That's That shouldn't happen.
Well, I haven't left. I'm still.
I know. I haven't left
Patrick
either.
Dyer. You can find it at friendsofpatdyer.com. I'm out on the website. It's green, so it's a little part of Italian and born and raised in Baltimore County.
Irish.
Husband, father, social entrepreneur, business owner. Spent his life in Baltimore County working with and I met him through a charitable organization, Associated Italian American Charities. And so you can learn more here, and you can give him money as we all do. I told Carson, I'm like, I'll give you love, not money, like all that for all you guys. I want you to speak from the right side of the aisle on the county and the decision made by the 7 councilmen to empower the current county executive, which my mind is blown that we couldn't find a better candidate. But then I start to think about they did not want that candidate to run, and I've had Barry Williams on the show and other candidates who put their name in the hat to be the short-term 2-year county executive. Look, you got to win your own election on the Republican side in order to be in the general later on in the year. But how do you feel about the decision that was made that was bipartisan, right? 4-3, Democrat, Republican. It's not like we don't have Republican representation. I went to middle school with Todd Crandall. I mean, I've known Todd for 45 years, right? Been on my show many times before he had his issues over there a couple of years ago. I have not had the county, the Republican that does the North County. Never met him. Koch?
Yeah, Wade.
Wade. I don't.
Sure.
Never met him in my life. So some people. Well, everybody's invited. This is Baltimore Positive. You can come on anytime you want. I appreciate you picking that up, but I am a Democrat who, I wouldn't say a Johnny O Democrat, but certainly I thought the county was better run under Johnny O than where we are at this point. And I've had Al. I told you Al's my friend, having him on. I don't know how this decision came about, and certainly what the issues have been the last year and a half. But I'm very disenfranchised at the way the 7 members handled this. Not to mention the other shenanigans that have gone on here. I feel like the county's getting some shenanigan reputation, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
So I'm all about transparency, and we can't really get straight answers out of what's going on with the county. First,
I feel that way.
First, you had the IG that left, and that was nobody really knows why she left. I'm being told she was highly qualified, and she went to another county. So that was somewhat.
There was controversy around that I haven't gotten to the bottom of either. As a citizen or a journalist, I don't really know.
Why don't we know? I mean, from what my friends that are lawyers,
I don't like secrecy in government.
Exactly.
That bothers me.
Why don't we have an answer? Then you have the expansion of the councilmatic districts. Now it's up to 9. And I don't know if they got what they were looking for in terms of the adding the new council districts. Think about it. You had council people that were earning half of what they're going to be earning, yet they've got a reduction in the work they're going to be doing by 20%. So you've got more councilmen and women.
Theoretically, that should be good. Theoretically
good, but think about it.
It's like having a teacher where there's 40 kids in a classroom versus 25. That's the way I think about it.
True. But if they were
these are constituents.
If they were, yes, of course, and it's very important. But you got to think about the budget too. Now you've got more pay, and you've got staff, and I'm hearing this from both sides. This is
it is bipartisan. It's not like everybody's a Democrat or nobody's a Republican, right?
Right, but now you're going to have additional resources that are, if every council person is going to have a staff, so it's going to be expensive. So we got to back to what I'm saying. We need businesses. We need growth to fund this. I mean, we got to remember it's taxpayers that are picking up the tab. So that's very important. So, like I said, there's been some other issues, within the county council that.
The pension thing was not good.
Pension was
that was not good.
That was a whopper. And you're saddling the county. You're saddling my children with obligations, down the line. I think that's unconscionable. That's a lot of money. And if we, like I said, it was too. They felt bad about it. So obviously, I believe it's been that's been retracted. So
here's one thing that I have not discussed with any candidate that I probably should put it on my front list, which is how many people actually vote in a primary that would affect you, right? So. I'm a Democrat. I can't vote for you, right?
You could. You got to switch.
No, I'm not. That There's zero chance of me ever becoming a Republican after watching this shit show, this criminal running the country. So just every minute of every day, just he's a criminal. But that wouldn't stop me from voting for you if I believed in you in a general election. And it wouldn't stop me maybe from voting for you if the current county executive were actually running and she were your competitor. I have no idea what's going to happen on the Democratic side. Nick Stewart was invited out today. He's going to join me. I've had Julian on. I've had Izzy on. I haven't had Pat Young on in a little period of time. They were the people involved, by and large, in making this county executive happen that I'm very disgruntled about. So I'm open-minded in the same way I was open-minded when Al Redmer knew I probably wasn't voting for him, but I wanted to hear what his ideas were 8 years ago. I feel the same way because, you have the opportunity to win me and my audience over today that if someone wins on the Democratic side that I don't feel good about, I then have to consider, what's best for county government, not saying, well, Dyer's with Trump, therefore F him. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to vote for the best person. I have a Democrat now in county government that I'm not. I have a Democrat in running the state who I supported at Costas, who doesn't come on and be accountable to me. So I have as much disgruntledness with Democrats as I do with Trump in a general sense, but for you with Republicans in turning out and you winning in June, same for the Democrats, all of them. You need people to want to come out and vote, make it easy to vote, right? And mail in and easy and where we are and what precinct you're voting at and all that. Turnout for the whole of America, for all of this, is how we got Trump involved. If people actually voted in this country, I spent 2.5 weeks in South America, and the conversations that I had with South American people, I went to 7 countries. I sat in Ubers and talked to people as best my crappy Spanish would allow me. But any of them that spoke English to some degree, didn't matter what their politics were. They were anti-Trump because Trump's a clown. But what they talked to me about was the power of the value of an American vote. That I had 5 or 6 different people say to me, you're an American. Do you know how important your vote is? But for all of us, for us in Peru and in Uruguay and in Colombia, that America is well run and well represented because we have the most powerful vote in the world. I
was out with my sons and I saw an old gentleman. He was struggling and I went to help him. And he goes, "You're an American, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I'm a proud American." So
we help each other.
We help.
That's what it should be. That's what this is supposed to be about.
Of course.
Whether I agree with you or don't agree with you, I'm not here to be punitive to a Democrat or Republican that's trying to make my county better, trying to make crime better, trying to make schools better.
Any businessman knows you need to bring people together. There's a lot of problems in this county that have not budged. So you need to sit down and talk to people. I was talking with people in the school board, and they're saying, "Hey, we need somebody that will listen to us. The problems are solvable." I'm one of 6 kids. I'm right in the middle. I'm usually fixing something, even to this day.
You're the Jan Brady of your family.
Yes, even to this day. But
getting people out to vote and letting people know June 23rd is a day, I think that part of my citizenship.
Please, we need everybody out.
I have an FCC license as long as Trump doesn't come and take it from me because I'm Venezuelan. But
that's all. This is nice, but
vote
and vote. If I don't say this is not important because, like you just said, your listeners, I respect your listeners.
But in order for me to ever be able to vote for you, you need to get through the primary and win your primary, and that really isn't even speaking to Democrats. That's speaking to Republicans. I mean, what's your message to them about getting you into that seat at this point and your competition? And more than that, the notion that their primary vote matters, right? There are a lot of people in this country who come out and vote for president. We don't have enough to do that.
Sure.
But these primary elections, this is where boots on the street, your local tax dollars, your schools, your crime, your transportation, the things that are happening in and around the 10 miles around your house, this is your chance to come out and make a difference, especially if you're on the right side of the ticket for you.
We've got a strong campaign going. I'm very happy with it. It's been very responsive. We've got door knockers, we've got signs, we've got bumper stickers, we've got shirts. My message is clear. I'm a business guy, and I believe, like I said before, I believe in a strong. I believe your safety is very important. I believe we need new businesses. We need to attract businesses, and I believe in a school system that works for all of us. Our children need to be educated. I fear the day that one of my children comes to me and says, "Dad, there's no opportunity here in Baltimore County. I'm leaving." No, I want the same. I want every child to have the opportunities that I had. I want them to be educated. I want them to feel safe. I want them to get a nice job. I want them to find a nice place to live that they can afford. I want that for every child because I know how wonderful this county is. Like I mentioned before, we've got the best resources in the state of Maryland. It's the best county out there.
So
I'm going to drive my message to get people to get to the polls. It's a very important. But we've got a nice plan to get the vote out.
My side of the county and Colgate Elementary, where I went, it's me and the Flores family. We're the only Hispanics that were over there in 1977. My elementary school is like 80% Hispanic at this point. Where are you on this ICE thing? ICE people coming over and grabbing my ass off the street because I'm Venezuelan and asking me for my passport. I'm not a fan of anything that's fascist. I mean, I read too much Anne Frank for that.
Well, I support our federal officers. I mean, and I support getting bad people off the streets. And I think if you talk to anybody, I think there's a lane.
There's a difference between bad people and immigrants.
Of course. We all know immigrants. They're wonderful. My family came on the coffin ships from Ireland. We're all immigrants. We don't want people.
My family came from Venezuela, and our government just sent in the Department of War to bomb a country and steal its leader. And my family's there, so it's not funny to me. So there's nothing to laugh about from my family at all. And there was nothing American about that. There was nothing patriotic about that. There was nothing constitutional about that. There was nothing congressional about that. So I was in Minnesota 2 weeks ago when Springsteen started the tour. They executed 2 citizens in the street there, and the government's covering it up on behalf of federal agents. It's bullshit, Pat. I mean, it just is. So I can't support that, and I don't want that on the streets of Towson or Dundalk or Woodlawn. I don't. Or Owings Mills or Glendon. I don't. But I'm all for a path to citizenship that my father had, that your grandparents had coming from Ireland.
Sure.
And especially if they're here and they're paying taxes and their kids are in school and they have a job and they're working somewhere, we can't be putting these people in concentration camps, which is what these have become. Have you visited or tried to visit as a political candidate any of what ICE is doing with the human beings that they're picking up on streets?
I have not.
Yeah,
no.
well, there's been a lot of people in Congress that have, and have pushed back on human rights violations, Alligator Alley, Crocodile Farms, whatever Trump thinks he's doing in Florida. This is not acceptable. And that's what happens to that Guatemalan or that Ecuadorian immigrant that gets picked up over on Eastern Avenue trying to hustle a gig at the Home Depot. That how we're treating those people is not humane, man. It's not. And they look like me.
Is that a situation that should be dealt with on a congressional platform, or is this?
But if you're running the county and allowing federal militia to come in and oversee police officers and grab families and separate children in our community, that's a problem for me. You know why it's a problem for me? It was a problem in Minnesota. It's a problem everywhere it's happened because it's not really solving issues. It's creating a crisis in America, as I see it, a crisis of trust. And I'll tell you, because my son lives in that neighborhood, lives in Baltimore County, educated in Baltimore County, went to Perry Hall, pays his taxes. He told me that the neighborhood feels like Anne Frank to him, that people pull their shades down because they're afraid of the cops, government, teachers, their neighbors, all of that, that's not healthy, man. You know, I'm just saying that's not healthy. That's not a community we should want. So I would ask you to, if you win your election and we talk again in the summer, to keep your eye open that if you're going to be running the county this time next year, that when the federales come in here, how that's going to affect the community. That's all. And I felt that way with Kathy a couple months ago, but I can't have her on to talk about much of anything. So, yeah, I mean, so I'm very disgruntled at the council at this point. And when Julian and Izzy come on and Pat, they're going to hear about that from me because, like, I'm Venezuelan. You bomb my family's country. This is not, and I'm Hispanic, and I fit the bill of somebody.
I've often said, I always said, we're a diversified county, and that is our strength. I mean, I truly believe that. I just think everybody should be welcome, and there should be a path to citizenship for everybody, but everybody should be welcome.
I don't want criminals here of any kind. certainly not MS-13 member.
Well,
if that's what's going on, then we eliminate that.
Sure.
But pulling people out in their underwear in the dead of winter in Minnesota because they look like they're from someplace else, that's straight bullshit.
I don't think anybody wants that. I
okay, well, that's going on, and that would go on in our county, and I don't want that to happen. So that would be my pushback to you on that, as someone who came from Italian heritage and how we got together, as well as Venezuelan heritage. We need good
and
people
Irish
in this
heritage.
country.
I mean, we're
we
all
need good
we're
people
all
in this
immigrants.
country, man.
Of course,
absolutely.
Of course, we need everybody. That's why we're a great country, because we're diverse ideas. And
when's your next fundraiser? I want to get people out for
May 14th.
May 14th. What are you doing? Where and when and all that?
It's at May 14th. If you go to friendsofpatdyer.com, you'll find it there.
I just went there right here. I'm on it right now on my mobile phone. Here we go. Support leadership. Hold on, I gotta click the events tab. About, home, issues, news, contact. I got it all here.
That's May 14th. I'll get it.
All right. Where's it going to be? You don't know?
Yeah, it's going to be. It's 3 Chimneys out in. It's out in.
I don't know about this.
Balford.
Hold on, 3 Chimneys. Let me look up 3.
It's someone's residence.
Oh, okay.
People are really standing up and having nice events for me, so I'm happy with that.
All right. Well, go to the website, find out more. Good luck to you. And hey, I want to say thanks to the get everybody about your Italian group. Could you do all these nights?
The Associated
Italian.
The Associated Italian American Charities. Thanks for bringing it up, Ness. We're having the largest indoor party in Baltimore County, June 6th. I mean, there's going to be 800 people there, and everything we raise is given to our scholars and given to our charities. And this is a wonderful group of gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that they work tirelessly to make this happen, and it's a great event. If you come across the ticket, and I think you probably can get a ticket, but you got to come. If you haven't been to it, would you like to come?
Well,
be my guest.
People asked me to come and speak. I did last night.
You don't have to speak. You just sit at my table.
Here's the deal, man. They asked me to come out, and they're like, "What's your speaking fee or whatever?" You guys, I said, just give me a sandwich and I'll come out. You know what I mean? Just feed me. So the night that I left, you gave me as a gift from your group, and it was like embroidered. Damn right I drank it. I took it home and had your name on it, and it had, because you gave it to me, and it said, gift from the associate, thanks for being a speaker. You were the one that presented it. And I took it home, and I figured out, is this a $12 bottle? It's like normal, like a $15 bottle. And so I broke it out.
You were into the details.
I actually had it. My wife has this delicious bolognese recipe that she got from Kim Acton from Pazzaluna, and she makes this bolognese. So I had a delicious... I mean, who wants a Chianti when you can have a cab? You know what I mean? So you gave me a cab. So I appreciate that, man.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I love me a cab. Only thing I like more than a cab's a Malbec. That's because I'm South American.
You got to come again. We got another one. I got another
June
collector's
6th is your big night?
June 6th.
All right.
It's at the Valley Mansion. It's going to be packed.
Well.
It's black tie, so everybody kind of gets
dressed. I can't come. I'm from Dundalk. I don't have any black tie.
Dark suit.
All right.
Dark suit, dark jacket, whatever. You'll fit right in. You'll have a great time.
Well, the thing about speaking to your group is I was the only Democrat in the room when I spoke. He's lying.
I don't think about that. I don't.
Name one Democrat in the room
I'm not going to.
They can't vote for you in the primary.
Yes, they can.
They got to switch parties. Nobody's switching parties. Well, come on, dude. You at least get me to try to vote for you in November, but I ain't voting for you in June. That's it.
So you say I got a chance on you, right? In November?
Depends on who the Democratic candidate is.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
I'm not one to say I would never vote for Republican, but you got a hell of a hill to climb after Trump. That's all I'm going to say. Trump has done immeasurable damage to your party.
Well, I love this county.
He's done immeasurable damage to your party. He really has.
But I agree. I mean, let me take it. I love Baltimore County. Okay, you want to make it. It's not Trump's county. This is our county.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to run the county. Me, not Donald Trump. I know you keep bringing him up, but
I have to. He runs your party.
Well, okay, I'm going to be the CEO of Baltimore County. I'm going to run the ball. I'm under no obligation to anybody. None. I've got no outside influence.
Well, you and I'll outside influence you about the ICE thing because that would affect the county. So, June 6th, I'll support your Italian group. I've already supported your campaign having you on because I like hearing the other issues. And I do think your heart's in the right spot. So I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't say more than that.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right.
I'll get you another bottle of wine. Have me again.
No, we're not doing any more wine. All right, maybe a little bit of wine.
shirt.
Maybe a little bit of wine. My thanks to Pat Dyer. Friends of Pat Dyer is the way to find him. We're out here at Costas. Did I give you a ticket? What
do I
you
get
want
one?
horses? You want birds? You want boardwalk? Or do you want bridge? What do you want?
Boardwalk. I love Ocean City.
Yeah, everybody likes the boardwalk one because it's orange. Maryland Lottery doing Maryland Treasures. Chris Corman, he is the sports editor of the Baltimore Banner and maybe the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's going to be on next. Stay with us. We're live at Costas.